Thank you very much. First of all, let me appreciate this opportunity. I know that most of you may be wondering what is a member of parliament, specifically a member of the ruling party, the African National Congress, doing in this gathering to map South Africa's future. Some of you may even be asking yourself, how could she associate herself with such a gathering when, by virtue of being a member of the ruling party, she has been part of defeating the 7 motions of the vote of no confidence against President Zuma, tabled by opposition parties in parliament. I've been associated with the African National Congress since I was 12 years old. I was taught to respect leadership directives. I was also socialized to view anything that comes from one's opponents with suspicion. During the liberation struggle, the only system that made sense to us as the oppressed, exploited, disenfranchised, and marginalized social and economic groups was communism. It is therefore not surprising that we embraced and adopted the concept of democratic centralism, which is essentially Leninist organizational system in which decisions taken by a democratically elected structure are binding to all members. However, the dilemma I had is this: what if such directives are morally bankrupt? What if such directives are directionless? What if such directives reflect arrogance, dishonesty, denialism, and injudiciousness of that very democratically elected leadership collective? What if such directives betray the organizational mission of People's Parliament? What if that very directive of leadership collective is at war with its own organizational moral conscience, the ANC constitution, let alone the country's constitution, which is the supreme law of the land? If I may quote the preamble of the ANC constitution as amended in 2012 and has not yet been amended, it reads, "The African National Congress has emerged to lead the struggle of all democratic and patriotic forces to destroy apartheid state and replace it with a united, non-racial, non-sexist, and democratic South Africa in which the people as a whole shall govern." The African National Congress has come to be recognized as the central organizer and inspirer of a vast popular upsurge against apartheid, involving a great array of social, cultural, religious, trade unions, professional, and political organizations. Close quote. Fellow South Africans, what I witnessed on the 7th April 2017 is inconsistent with these provisions of the very African National Congress Constitution. It is still in effect to this day, as it was last amended in 2012. When joining the African National Congress, in terms of Rule 4.17, I committed myself to the following, open quote, "I am joining the African National Congress voluntarily and without motives of material advantage or personal gain," close quote. I am still upholding this commitment. Can this be the same with my leadership collective, specifically my president? I also committed to place my energies and skills at the disposal of the organization and carry out tasks given to me that I will work towards making the ANC an even effective instrument of liberation in the hands of the people, close quote. This explains why I am here today. I am here because South Africans, the people, are speaking, and I have to listen attentively so that my ANC could be an effective instrument of liberation. Can the ANC be an effective instrument of non-racialism when it is led by a president who has lost legitimacy, credibility, integrity, and honorableness? I am here to defend the ANC mission and not a dishonorable and disgraceful leader. I am here because as an African feminist, grounded in Ubuntu philosophy, I find a patriarchal system oppressive. I also find being led by a man who harvests women extremely intolerable. I have been living with this pain for so long. He promised to stay for one term, but he never did. To know that it is not my pain, but the pain of all South Africans, had made me to stand up and speak out. This is a president who appears to promote tribalism. Not only are we divided along racial lines, because our president, when his citizens peacefully marched to plead with him to step down in order to give South Africa a breathing space, so that we may implement the National Development Plan and root out corruption, state capture, that Mr. President has institutionalized. He calls them racist and agents of white monopoly capital. This is a president when black intellectuals express their views, he does not agree with them. He sarcastically labeled them clever blacks. I'm a black. I am clever, I am smart, I am educated, and therefore there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. This is a president who has made us feel awkward for being black and smart. This is a president who seems to yearn to be a king, hence his Kandla royal state. In case I do not make it on the 8th August 2017, Mr. President, that you know as the president, you are haunting the South African nation. Please, Mr. President, step down and respect those who elected you. Mr. President, 11 million South Africans voted for you, Mr. President, and not just 1 million ANC members. You may wish to contest the ANC presidency in December 2017, but South Africa no longer needs you, Mr. President. Please save South Africa. Save jobs, Mr. President. Save the economy, Mr. President. Save women, Mr. President. Save South Africans from this pain. I have witnessed that violence against women has reached intolerable levels. The vision and mission statement of the ANC Parliamentary Caucus, which is based on the fact that we are a united South Africa and we are a parliament of the people, has been violated by you, Mr. President. I cannot say more about how much you have violated the country's constitution. Mr. President, uphold the ANC constitution. Mr. President, uphold the country's constitution. Step aside and let moral and ethical leaders lead this country to a prosperous path. Thank you.